What's going on, everybody? We are
What
live and it is Wacky Wednesday. What up, Derek?
what is up, brother?
What is up, man? We are live and it's another Wacky Wednesday. How's the week going so far, bro?
Oh, it's pretty good, man. It's cool. It's a new week at work and get to do something I haven't really done yet. So I've been excited to do that and trying to like move myself forward a little bit. And it's been pretty good. It's been a good week. How about you?
Yeah, man. Can't complain, dude. It's been a pretty solid week, pretty chill. We actually picked up a new little dog this morning, and
Oh man, what kind?
she's she's a mix, man. It's hard to say. I would say like a
What?
Jack Russell. She's a small dog, so I mean but you can tell she's come from a shattered home or something, dude,
Yeah,
because she's a little skittish, especially over me. And usually all the animals love me, so But
oh, she'll
she's
come
coming
around.
along.
It'll be good.
Yeah, it's all good. We're just getting a little bit of time. How's
Yeah,
your
dude, I
foot
love
going,
dogs
by
more
the
than I
way,
love
bro?
people. Huh?
How's your foot going, man?
Oh, that's pretty good now. It still hurts some days, but it is what it is. You just go through it. I'm trying to keep my shoulder right is what I'm trying to do. Like I feel like an old man these days. I'm like, God, I've broke everything at this point. I'm just like, just keep going, dude. You're good.
And how old are you, bro?
34, dude. I've just broke everything.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's crazy? I would feel like for me, 33 was the point where all of a sudden I just started feeling stuff, dude. Like, oh, sheesh, man. Like the aches and the pains really started coming on, bro. I'm like, gosh,
Oh
damn.
yeah, it's
You know?
crazy, and I feel like I peaked at like 16, and then it just went downhill from there. Like everything's just been like a slow downhill slide from there. And I think that's the military. I blame the military for that.
Right?
You go to the
Yeah.
military, then everything just goes downhill. You're like, what do you got? I got back problems and an alcohol problem. That's what I got.
Yeah, all of the above. But here we are talking about all these like ailments and stuff like that. Our next guest, these dudes, they
They're
make
out
a
there
living
doing
just
it.
jumping out of planes, bro, and landing on the ground. I mean, I imagine it's not always a smooth landing. You know what I mean?
It
So
can't be.
could you imagine landing on that ground real hard, bro?
Oh, dude, I have no knees.
Yeah. Well, the
Like no
back,
knees,
the
no hips.
knees, all that. I'd be one of those guys. I've watched enough of those like army compilations of them dudes parachuting and just smacking the shit out of the floor, or
I'd be the guy stuck in the tree, man. Like I'd just be
yeah,
stuck in the tree, hanging there. Like, all right, well, I'll be here for a while,
be that dude just running right into a building like, bang, oh gosh.
right? Like, why'd you bring an MRE? Because I know I'm gonna be stuck in the tree for fucking 6 hours because I'm an idiot. Like,
Oh man. Yeah, but you know what, dude? We were fortunate enough to watch the Bravo Zulu Adventure Group jump out, fly in to Hero Stock with flags, man. I mean, it was pretty impressive.
right? It was super incredible. It was a very neat experience and a good way to kick off a great day and a great event, and like just to really like salute to our veterans and our heroes and everyone out there doing things. And that's what these guys keep doing. They're out there doing this, and they're making everyone proud. Dude, I think it's incredible.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and you could just hear, and everybody's just chanting USA, and everybody just was roaring as they're all flying in. Because, dude, I mean, that kind of stuff is motivating as all hell, especially watching them just swoop on in, dude. I mean, from a hell of a distance too.
Oh yeah, with a giant American flag, and you're just like, dude, that's patriotic as shit. That's America right there.
Right. They went
Like,
from looking like a speck in the sky, and then all of a sudden, bam, up close and personal, these big ass flags, and
oh, it's just
man, it
so
was
cool.
impressive. But let's not let our guests sit back there too much longer. We have David from Bravo Zulu Adventure Group to talk all about it. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, man, can't complain. No one would care, anyways, right?
yeah.
Hey, dude, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you on. This is the opportunity for you to tell us all about Bravo Zulu Adventure Group, what you guys do, and all the great things. We'll kind of show everybody your guys' website and all that good stuff. But tell us a little bit about yourself, dude.
Yeah, definitely. I forgot to ask the question. Is it okay to drink while you're on this podcast?
Absolutely,
Oh,
man.
yeah, it's
Drink.
not my house, dude.
This is a veteran show here.
Yeah. So
make yourself at home, brother.
This is gonna kind of tie in how this group kind of started. So me and Sean Burdess, he's a co-founder along with Dylan and Delt here in Nebraska. Sean served in the Marine Corps. And then Dylan still serves with the Nebraska National Guard here, as I do too. But I met Sean at our local club's drop zone, and we knew there's definitely with adventure and mental health, like there's great things that would come from that. And so we kind of were drinking a couple times and said, hey, let's do some gangster shit with our friends, right? I mean, that's how we started this group, right?
All great things come to it, with drinking. That's how the Marine Corps was fucking formed too, bro.
Exactly.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, why do all great things start like this?
Drinking some beer, like, hey, let's be Marine.
Oh, yeah. You get the real good ideas out quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, we should kill everyone very efficiently and be great at it. Like, that's what we should do. And it was like, because you were drinking, and then you just like became the greatest thing in the world,
Oh man, great things are born with some alcohol.
Oh, I think David froze up.
Yeah, man, and he has that perfect smile too. Just like
that's a good freeze screen, man. Like, I wish I could freeze up like that.
There he is. All right.
Yeah, but right before the pandemic started, we had a meeting at a distillery, none other than the distillery, right? And got a lot of support to start it. Then the pandemic happened. My wife and Sean's wife's a nurse, so like we didn't even see them for 2 years. They worked in the ICU units. They're first ones to get COVID patients and stuff like that. Then last November, we brought Dylan together and we got really drunk again. And then we woke up the next day and Sean's like, hey, I filed the paperwork. He's kind of like our paperwork guy. He works with very detailed oriented reading and navigating that stuff in his job. So he filed all the stuff in November of last year. And of course we had to polish it up a little bit instead of doing gangster shit with my friends. We honor those who served, right? So that's how we do it. And we really want to include the veterans, first responders. Seems like they're just go and they get kicked in the dirt and all that stuff. And then healthcare workers, seeing the toll on that. Nurses, I'm sure the same with doctors. I only know like optometrists, and stuff like that. They seem to be doing pretty good with their time. But, we got doctors and then nurses especially, man, they're just constantly getting beat down with their daily works, especially with COVID and things like that. So we really want to include them as well. And a couple of our easy buttons was scuba diving and skydiving, being all three of us are skydiving instructors. So we've seen that firsthand, how that can positively affect mental health. I mean, you could do one. We jumped Paul with Nebraska Marine Company. He's a Gold Star family Marine Corps veteran himself. And we took him, we did a little drawing with the breweries and raffles, and he ended up winning. So we took actually his whole family, or his two sons, skydiving. And every time I walk in that door, his face lights up, everything changes about him, and just from one jump, you know what I mean? The power of that freedom that you have from that is really great. And then scuba diving is the same thing. We dabbled in that during Nurses Week a little bit, and we're getting ready to launch that even further and partner with some places abroad and then, down in Florida. And then another big aspect we wanted to do was the social side, right? So veterans, first responders, nurses, they all like food, they all like drinking. So we didn't want to take someone skydiving and do this really great thing and be like, all right, man, see you later. And then they just go back to their couch and kicking rocks or whatever they do. So we do social events as well. We're working on coming out with our own beer. We work with a local distributor called Quality Brands of Omaha, Lincoln. They're smaller, family owned. They're in Wyoming, Colorado, and South Dakota as well. So we're kind of working with that. And we partner with other great organizations. We're working on maybe doing a barrel of our own whiskey, few other things, because our goal for next year is to buy a trailer so we can travel around to these events, from the smallest event to the biggest event, and roll out our trailer with, TV if the Huskers are playing, or, whatever sports team's playing. I'm not a big sports guy. Have a grill, our own cantina, have our own beer to pour, be able to share our story and hear the stories of those, because that's healing too, And a lot of the times I'm finding that the world is a lot smaller place. You know, I was chatting with a Marine and I was listening to his war stories. I'm like, wait a second, you were between Fallujah and Ramadi on this date and time? And he's like, yeah. I was like, and it was the 2 down helicopters. He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, we were shooting at the same bad guys and we didn't even realize it, you know? And we talked for like 4 hours about that one incident and didn't even know we were probably a half a mile from each other, you know, hitting the same bad guys, you know? So
That's crazy.
that's kind of where we're at with it. The problem is we drink when we meet. And so we got so many great ideas. I mean, we partnered with a local liquor store called Bottles and Barrels. I went there. There's this High West campfire, and I'm not a big Scotch fan, so I seen that they had something with the blend, and I was like, man, I really like everything High West. So I left from smoking ribs and working on my house. We're remodeling it right now to go by there, and I spent 2.5 hours there. My ribs were ruined. Everything was crazy. My wife came home. She's like, everything's on. Stuff's like, where is he at? You know? And I called Sean up, and I'm like, dude, this place, there's something about this place. And it's just a premium liquor store, but it's got those little tasting things where you can taste whiskey, vodkas, gins, tequilas, wine. It's got like 30 beers on tap. And so we met there that was Friday. We went there the next day. I took my wife with me. We met Sean. We met the owner, Jimmy. Started talking. We're like, hey, we got to have like an actual meeting. This place is awesome. And ended up closing it down that day. Met the following Wednesday. The place supposed to close at a certain time. We were there till like 2:30 in the morning or 12:30 in the morning. And then ultimately we ended up skydiving Jimmy into the back of his liquor store, you know, a month later.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. Yeah.
You got to be real careful if you're drinking with us, especially if it's in the summertime.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Just be drinking with them, fucking throw you out of a plane, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
How many ideas have gotten lost inside the bars, man? I mean, you know.
Honestly, absolutely none of them have yet to date. But between meeting with him and a bunch of demos that we had lined up, us three as co-founders of this nonprofit, we were kind of, you know, about ready to punch each other in the face. You know, it was extremely stressful because our plan for when we started this was, hey, if you come up with an idea, you got to fundraise for it, you know, because we didn't have no money when we started this thing. We literally started this out of pocket, you know, even our website. We're doing everything ourselves because we don't have any money to pay anyone to do anything anyways. And we want every penny to go to support the mission, right? We don't want no waste or nothing like that. So even like the website, you know, threw that on my own debit card and everything like that. So it was very loosely started like that. And then we started to get busier with those plans, especially with, you know, drinking and be like, oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do this. Hey man, can you fly this demo for this? Yeah, man, we'll do it, you know? So we learned a lot along the ways that we got to be a little bit more organized because, you know, we went from, you know, maybe doing a few events to, I think we did probably 30 some engagements, you know, in the short span of the summertime. So.
Yeah. And I mean, I imagine, dude, as this, you know, catches wind and more people start getting in it starts growing itself, and then you get more busy and
yeah,
you got to start expanding and growing. So when did you guys actually start it? Like and get it, you know, and become a nonprofit and all that?
Yeah. So technically this is our second year as an entity, but it's our first year actually doing events. So we started it actually last year to get in there, you know, for many reasons, for grants and all these things. So we're like, oh, let's sneak it in a year, because then technically you can say this is our second year, right, of doing things, which we thought we were being smart, but the grants and all that stuff, it's a whole other world that works in a government system that doesn't work very well at all. Like it's pretty insane on kind of how that works, you know. And some of these bigger grants that affect mental health and are meant for things that we do, you know, they're giving away $500,000 to $1 million per organization. And we're like, man, $50,000 would change the landscape here for 2 years, you know. But trying to get into that grant process is insane, and we haven't been able to crack that nut yet. But some we're still working on, but yeah, this is our first full year. If you Googled our name, like my name personally, or some of the other guys' names, we've been self-funding this and doing this stuff every so often since about 2014, taking veteran skydiving. I'm also part of an organization called Round Canopy Parachute Team USA as well. The 22 Mohawks talked about doing static line parachute jumping from World War II aircraft. Round Canopy does the same thing. They're a worldwide organization. They got chapters all over the world. We actually go to Normandy, France every year and jump during D-Day out of World War II planes. Oh yeah, out of World War II planes that were used in D-Day, we jump. I'm not sure, dude. This is. Wow. I mean, I'm gonna have to we'll have to shift gears for only times. I'll get the president on for you guys one of these.
Yeah, bro. And if there ain't no pics, it never happened, bro. So I'm gonna have
to. Oh yeah, like it's insane. So I've been in the nonprofit space since 2007 when I came back from overseas. I really seen how blessed I was with my family. My parents are freaking awesome. My dad is taking me hunting and fishing. When I was growing up, my mom would take us to eat Chinese food and like all this other stuff. And my dad went out hunting, and my mom's support. I mean, she's one of those persons, if you don't call her within 2 days, she'll call you and be like, what's wrong? What's going on? And my brothers and sisters have been super awesome. So I actually started to do Big Brothers, Big Sisters when I got back and entered the nonprofit space. I did that for a while. I was a Cav Scout when I first entered in the Army, and then I transitioned to parachute rigger. So I started going TDY a lot. So I stopped being involved directly with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, but I would work with United Way and go around and talk about the program. And they really loved it. Everyone said, how I talked about it was really passionate, about. And I just explained, like, you're sitting out there fishing, your life's great, you're drinking a beer, you can go get a cheeseburger, you can, go to the movies, like, why not bring someone that's less fortunate along with you? It's so easy to bring someone, and it's actually really fun. Like, I took my little ice fishing one time. Actually, it was a riot, with my dad's friends. It was so fun. And actually, I don't know if he's still the director or not. He used to work at Hornaday for a while, so when we went to Hornaday and talked, one of the guys there, evidently I inspired him, and he became the director of the Big Brothers Big Sisters out of that region.
Really?
Yeah. And then I was at the same place 22 Mohawks was starting. I went there. I got this random phone call one time. I came in, these guys need people to pack parachutes to jump out of like World War II aircraft and shit. And I was like, say less, like I'm there, And that's how I ended up kind of working with RSPT, and then also bringing me to this point here too as well. So I'm one of those weird guys that gets super excited to see people accomplish things, and I channel that for people that serve the community, because it's so easy to be an awesome first responder or nurse or even a veteran and not take time out for yourself. So we kind of get to pick on those people, like, and challenge them to a skydive or scuba diving. We did a taco bar one time. We got some golf stuff coming up. One of the coolest things, I got a golf ball launcher this year too. It's an AR. I don't have it. One of the other guys has it. Otherwise, I'd show it to you guys. But it's an upper that shoots a golf ball, essentially.
Oh, dude. That's badass.
So what do you do with that?
It's X Products. They have one that shoots a can and then an insert for a golf ball, or you can buy just a golf ball launcher.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, like I did it. It was so awesome because Corporal Dagan Page is one of the 13 Marines that was killed in the Afghanistan withdrawal. So Lincoln Sport Parachute Club, the club we belong to, did the demos for that. So me, Sean Dillon, and Eric Bierbauer, and then a former member of the club, Eric Ploutz, was there to support the jumping. But then immediately following the jumping, we were sponsoring hole number 1, and you could tee off with the golf ball launcher AR.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it was so fun. And like this female veteran came up, and we were kind of challenging people, especially veterans, to shoot it. It was we asked for a $10 donation, to our nonprofit to be able to shoot it. And you could take it where it lies, or you could tee off and take that one, because some people take golf pretty serious, right? So we don't want to interfere with that.
I could see that thing getting some motherfuckers in trouble, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's the only way I golf. I wouldn't golf any
like,
other way.
don't bend
Yeah.
over around that thing.
Yeah.
Boof!
One of our co-founders shot straight up in the air, like
and
like,
run.
And it actually landed on the green somehow. It, put like a 2-inch divot, and I was like, dude, I was so mad. And Sean, one of the other co-founders, is like, geez, better ask Dad over there. I'm like, I get it. If we were out here just 3 dudes shooting stuff, like I would have done some silly shit too. But like, we're
your audience.
Yeah. We had this gal, she come up and she shot it, and we're like, oh man, that has to be on the green. And they go down there, and she can't find her ball, and she's thinking we're full of shit. They go to putt, and they go walk over to grab the flag out of there, and her ball's sitting in there. She got a hole in one.
Oh man, damn.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's plastered all over the
great shot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So it that goes back to our our original thing is we just wanted to do fun stuff with our friends, right? And that's kind of the mission that we set on. So, and that was one of those drinking things that we're like, oh, let's get one. And then
dude, I just want to do hood rat shit with my homies. Like, we're gonna do some hood rat shit, man.
That's some hood shit right there now. Like, oh shoot, dude. Now we're shooting things out, trying to hit the trees, and let's see how much bark we can take off this.
Oh yeah. We got I'm kind of working with some other organizations. One of my other goals is I want to turn a group of nurses into 3-gun competitors.
Nice.
And just watch these nurses come in and just outshoot a bunch of dudes, like I just want these guys to come in and
just embarrass people.
And also shooting sports, like I know the guns, depending on who you're talking to, it's a touchy subject on certain things, but that's a really therapeutic thing as well too,
Yeah, not touchy subject in here, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I did a lot of recon, with the Skydiving thing. It's easily excitable thing. So we've had so many people reach out to us, want us to be on their podcast. And I'm like, hey, we're busy doing the skydiving stuff, wait till this fall or this winter. So we got I'm on this one today, and then I'm on another one talking about bourbon and stuff that we do with another nonprofit, and then I'm starting to reach out to all the other ones too. So
oh yeah, bro, that's great.
Which is this is great. I've been listening through your guys' catalog, and it's great. I think one of the ladies, the Flags of Honor gal, Tree of Valor. Lori. Yep. And I messaged her. There's a disabled gal. I hope that's okay. So I don't know. She loves seeing pictures of veterans. So I sent her some from Round Canopy Parachute Team.
Oh yeah, dude.
And,
Lori was at Hero Stock.
Yeah. And I didn't get to meet these people because literally, so that was a crazy weekend for us. We did we did the bottles and barrels. We tandemed the owner of Jimmy into that, which is a huge deal. News was there, all this great stuff. We had to go to the drop zone, repack, refit stuff, wake up at 4:00 in the morning, drive to Sutton, Nebraska. The Hunter Hogan Foundation. He's a fellow Marine that was killed in action. Jumped the Gold Star flag in that golf course. Had enough time to basically drive back, eat some lunch, kind of, stare around a little bit, and then repack and do the Hero Stock one. So, and then the guys got to stay there. And then I literally packed up my stuff, and then I had to drive 2.5 hours to my cousin's wedding. So I didn't get to stick around too much.
Gosh, dang.
Yeah.
TJ, what up, brother?
We're we're still a little bashful, which is crazy that we just jumped in front of everyone, we're in our element, but we're kind of bashful when we set up places. We're kind of like, under our tent, which our tent, I don't know if you guys got to see our tent. It's awesome. It's got our flag.
Were you guys outside?
Yeah, we were outside by the cornhole stuff.
Bro, I was so trying to recover from the night prior because we kind of did the party, dude.
Yeah.
And so we were just sitting inside, dude, just fuck. After we watched you guys shoot in, I think I planted roots, man, in the in the seat, and just beers were coming over. I was like, all right, I'm recovering right here.
Yeah, which I think we had briefly talked about it, but I was like, dude, we got to be up at 4 to jump. Like, there's no way, like, because I'll be up till 4 drinking with those dudes. There's no, there's no way.
Yeah, you would have. Yeah, it was one of those nights.
And there's an 8-hour, they call it 8-hour bottle to toggle. Our toggles on our parachutes. So we went, and the demo jumpings regulated by 2 different, the FAA and the United States Parachute Association too. So it's definitely something that takes really serious. It takes some planning. Jumping those flags. We got an 800 square foot flag. It seems real awesome, but there's actually a lot of skill that goes into jumping flags. It's
absolutely, bro.
Yeah, that's our picture right there. That's Sean jumping the 800 square foot flag.
That thing's a beast.
Yeah, we're working on even doing way more than that too. Like that canopy right there is an accuracy canopy. It's not really meant for demos. So doing these custom canopies, we're going to do one with our logo on it. We were actually talking with Jesse when we were doing the tandem, and he's like, dude, why don't you have some logos on it? We're like, oh, we're working on it. And he briefly expressed like a Wheels for Work. And yeah, that's our tandem, super awesome tandem event that we did, where we took a bunch of veterans, first responders. The gal there, she works with the Quality Brands of Omaha. We did a raffle with them when they started working with us. And then that's a family member of Paul from Nebraska Brewing Company. That's his son there. That's great. Greg in the blue sunglasses, he's actually a first responder. And then Travis, he's a mailman, but his dad served. And then we got Mikey, our pilot. He does everything. He's a really awesome guy. That club actually in that background, that's Dylan. So Dylan's a paratrooper. He's a jump master. Pathfinder 2, I believe. But Dylan's one of the co-founders there. That's at Husker Drop Zone in Nebraska there. Yeah, that's going. So you get this whole brief, you get this whole spiel, just like in the Army, you practice everything on the ground before you do it in real life. But that's just a pre-exiting position we want everyone in.
Nice.
So, if they screw it all up, it's nice that the tandem master, he controls everything. But yeah, and that's us 3. He's a Omaha police officer right there. Super great guy. He got motion sickness afterwards. Had to chill on the couch for a while. So we're gonna try to see if scuba diving kind of doesn't get him
a little bit more. Yeah, probably. Yeah. He might need some Dramamine before it, because the scuba, is fine, but getting out there, bro, he's still gonna feel that.
The boat ride might be good, which is nice. The foundation. Go ahead.
Show a little bit of your.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got some good video.
I wish I had the video.
Oh yeah, the website.
We'll show the website. Kind of show a little bit and talk a little bit about it, your guys' mission, and
that's a really cool helicopter there. They use it for ag spraying, and then when they're not spraying, they train people, fly it around, all sorts of great stuff. It's kind of a long, let's do hood rat shit with our friends spelled out a little bit more there.
That's awesome, dude. I love that.
That scuba diving is actually in Florida. Which is really awesome. There's a lot of
beautiful. My gosh.
Oh, there's some really sweet places. Devil's Den, Blue
Grotto. That's not nearly murky enough to be Nebraska.
Yeah. No. Yeah. There's some sand pits might get a little crystal like that in the very early spring when it's super cold, but yeah, it definitely won't stay like that. And then, we have to meet the team, which Sean's always so bashful. So he didn't want to write anything about himself. So we had what's nice is I wrote it and I write like an 8-year-old. So I was like, well, it's on there. You guys better fix it.
All right. So we got
I like to hear that.
Yourself.
Yeah. And then
we got Dylan.
Dylan as well. Yep. And then Sean.
And Sean. Raiden Core.
Yeah, he's proud of the Marine Corps, but he's not like I don't know what the Marines call it, but he's not like Army hua about it, So it's always fun when we're around other Marines because he's like, "Oh damn it, that guy, man!" He's
too moto for me.
Yeah, he's like, let's get out of here. This guy's bothering me.
Keep him away from me, shit, bro.
Yeah, like before I actually just got back from a trip when I was supposed to be on last week, and I spaced off. But the day before, he came over to help me load up a bunch of parachutes. Oh, so this is our bourbon raffle. We're gonna do it again in April. We did one last time.
Talk about that.
Oh,
People
shoot.
love bourbon.
Oh, you would not believe. We probably got. I know Sean just probably spent at least $2,000 on bottles. The Old Forester birthday bourbon, extremely hard to get. He just got that. The Boss Hog 10-year or the Boss Hog X he just picked up. We're working on getting a full set of Blantons. I mean that list right there was pretty extensive, but
that's all your money right there. Is that Blanton? Good Lord.
We're shooting for the moon. We're gonna have one of the more extensive, probably bourbon raffles on this side of the Mississippi. It's gonna be crazy, and we're just getting started collecting on it. Sean and one of his buddies, Chad, that's real big into bourbon. They're gonna go to the bourbon belt for like 3 or 4 days, and just hit it pretty hard. We work with a lot of great people that work with our mission as well. We talked to local liquor stores that are really great. Gretna Wine and Spirit and Things, Bottles and Barrels, The Rack. We just did a raffle with them. So yeah, we're come April, we'll start putting it out there. We're actually going to go meet quality brands, and they have a tasting room. We're going to have food, drinks, all sorts of stuff. You don't have to wait in line for bourbon raffle or nothing. You can buy a ticket online. Awesome. It's gonna be super awesome. That right there is our contact us. We're actually on the news for a little bit, and we actually had some people use it, so we know it works. We wish people would do a lot more of it. We've had people like, "Hey, my son's a copman, and it'd be really awesome if you could do something," and we're like, "Hell yeah! What's his email?" You know what I mean? We had some nurses reach out, some other people reach out. Everyone that's reached out to us, we do contact them, and like. You don't have to tug our arm to get us to go do something fun, right? So if anyone out there is looking or anyone knows anything, we are local to Nebraska. We're trying to stay super local as we can. As we kind of talk to people, they're like, "Oh, I donate to this." And I'm like, okay, so that's a national organization. I'm sure they do a lot of good. They got $25 million last year. What did that do for Nebraska and veterans and first responders and healthcare workers in your backyard right now? And they're like,
right.
Oh, nothing. Or someone are like, I don't even know. And I'm like, exactly. That's what we're here for. We're here for the veterans. This hero stock thing was so awesome. I wish someone would have thought of this years ago. Really connecting people. And just with the hero stock guys, like, oh shit, we got to start liking other pages. We got to look at these podcasts. We got to be, as founders of this organization, we got to be involved and connected. So like with my other nonprofit, Grunt Style Community, Horse Soldier Bourbon, like Warfighter Tobacco, Warfighters, like all these organizations, but like, what are we doing for us local here? So that hero stock thing was kind of a wake up call for us too. Like the Tree of Valor thing, she seems super awesome. I've seen you guys that listen to 22 Mohawks. Yeah. Which when she said they had 120 people waiting, I really need to reach out to them because there's other jump teams out there that could really cut back that, there shouldn't be a backlog of 120 people needing some help to go jump, so just hearing all these, and it's so incredible. This is what I always say. We're all friends doing the same thing, right? We're helping our brothers and sisters, right?
Definitely.
So we're all friends doing the same thing. So, branching out, reaching out to the other people, working with each other, it is super awesome,
That's it, bro. We try to help each other out wherever we can.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Right.
What I'm saying, I don't jump, but I'm more than willing to throw you guys. I'm like you, bro. It thrills me in life to see others succeed now.
Yeah.
Especially my brothers and
me
sisters out there. And I love when I see great plans coming together.
Oh, yeah.
These nonprofits always touch me, man. And honestly, I didn't even know so much about this world until I started podcasting.
Yeah.
And that's why I like the Wacky Wednesdays. I was like, man, this is a great time to start bringing on nonprofits and just let them talk, because there's so many out there we just don't know about them, you
Yeah.
know, and there's a lot for everybody. Like, and it doesn't even matter. You could be do the same thing as another organization, but you're located in a complete different
Yeah.
area, you know, zone, whatever. So it's just great, man, that we can, as we all start talking about it and reaching out and starting to touch each other, that's how the network starts. You know what I mean? And Hero Stock has brought a lot of us all together. And before that, we all met through a podcast, you know, the Contagion Effect. And so, I mean, just all these things are, we all starting to network, and now you can see things are starting to grow through the network, which is great, man. And, you know, and bro, anytime you guys want to come on and you got some information you want to, you know, share, always got a home here, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just let
'Cause
any
this
of
is
us
what
know,
this
man.
is all about, bro, is putting it out there. And I heard you said you have other nonprofits.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
Every Wednesday, dude, I need someone on, you know what I mean? So anytime you want to come on and share more about those nonprofits, that's what this is all about, bro. We got to get it out there. We got to talk about it. You know what I mean? And you never know. Someone out there could be watching and just be like, wow, that's something I really need and I can do. And we could be saving their life just knowing something they didn't know.
Yeah. And that's what, with Round Campy Parachute Team, which if, so I'm on that board as well too. The president will come on. If not, we can come on, or I would be really sweet if we could get Sergeant Major Rick Lamb on, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
No, but just Sergeant Major alone, bro, you know, you got my attention, you
know. He is like the Ranger of Rangers. He's in the SF Hall of Fame. He was, I think he's still the Global Special Operations Special Forces, whatever group. He was the head of that. But he is like, if you know someone in that special community, they all know Sergeant Major Rick Lamb. Like, he was been in every, as a Ranger from Mogadishu, I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I read his biography, till Global War on Terrorism. Like, he is like the soldiers. Like, I mean, it is awesome. Like, you guys got to Google some of this stuff, but like, we did an event for the Grenada vets, you know, the Operation Just Cause. And they did a picture, and he had all the stuff in his original rucksack and stuff. And he's telling these stories. And I'm like, wait a second, you were there? Like, this is crazy. You know, like some of these things, that battles and small excursions, he was a part of it all. Like, you know, he's got the outfits. His little hooch when he comes on and does podcast is like an old World War II hooch, you know, or something that you'd see, like a little small operator that just.
Yeah, we need him on, bro. Yeah, we need that guy on, dude.
Yeah. I'll reach out to him. And see, if not, like, Round Campy Parachute Team, man, we were just talking about it. We do a lot of stuff on WhatsApp app, which I got like 300 messages just from today. But even from this last event we just did, we had 3 people reach out to us and said, hey man, you saved my life. And this other guy, which I didn't even know who it was, our president, Bill, which I'll bring him on, you know, he sent a message like, hey, just so you know, this whole group, his whole family jumps with us, all but his son, but I think he's fixing that. He's going to bring him in March and teach him how to jump. He's like, you brought my whole family out of darkness. Like,
wow.
And so
that's great.
I'm sitting at the bar by the airport talking to a guy that's part of the group about like all this stuff. He's like, hey man, he goes, that was me. I sent that message. I'm like, what? No shit. And we got to talk about like
small world.
Yeah, dude, it's so small world. And it's just incredible how, you know, we call it outdoor adventures. You know, some people see skydiving as an extreme sport. I always tell people, you know, driving is way dangerous. You know, people don't realize how dangerous driving is. You know, of course, you make it dangerous by texting and driving, right? Or
sure,
driving sleepy, or whatever your poison is. You know, just like skydiving, like you guys were talking about these dudes coming and hitting the ground, like that's called swooping. I mean, they're trying to induce low turns and speed to go as fast as they can across the ground, right? So skydiving is extremely safe. It really is. We had this one guy, he's like a statistics dude. He calculated you are 86% more likely die while eating than you are ever skydiving. Like it's
Really?
relatively safe. You have your main parachute, your reserve parachute, and if you're just blank out and don't do anything, there's a computer on board that cuts your reserve loop, that shoots out your reserve.
Oh,
Like
What?
oh yeah. There's if you guys look at the team, it's called Friday Freakout. There's these two dudes that are jumping, and they're like, oh yeah, they're relatively new skydivers. They link up, and they're like, this is awesome, like smile, and then all of a sudden the reserves just go out because at 750 feet it
because they
activates.
forgot to pull
Yeah,
their
That's
chutes.
incredible,
They just
bro.
have
That's
too good
cool.
of a
I didn't
time.
know
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
didn't know there was that much technology in this.
Yeah.
Good thing for technology, bro. They would have laughed their way all the
Oh,
way
yeah.
to death, dude.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's funny because he lands in this cornfield and he's just like looks at his altimeter. Dude, you landed already, man. Yes, you don't need to use it no more.
Yeah, you're at the ground, man. Like you made it. Like you're there.
But yeah, and it's governed by the United States Parachute Association, USPA. So there's programs, there's rules. They work with FAA. Like tandem is actually regulated by the Federal Aviation Administration, the manufacturer, and the USPA. So like when I got my tandem rating, essentially you get permission from the USPA if you meet all these requirements, like 3 years in the sport, 500 jumps. You have to have a reserve ride for Strong, the manufacturer. You have to take a test. You have to find an examiner to teach you. You have to go get a class 3 FAA medical, which is the highest medical waiver they do. Then you have to go to a course. Then you have to pass the manufacturer's test, be signed off by an examiner for that manufacturer. Then you have to take like 10 of your buddies, experienced skydivers that got like B license or 100 jumps or whatever. Then you're allowed to take somebody. So it's not like we're just throwing stuff on and going through the motions, and there's currency requirements, all this stuff. You have to meet once a year and talk about safety and all this stuff. So I get that people get nervous too. And the one thing I try to explain to people, it's not fear that's really like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm so afraid. It's your natural instincts. And once you learn and can enjoy that sort of natural instinct, then you become a skydiver and you start doing all kinds of cool stuff. Like, well, 2 guys will be flying through the air with a hula hoop and you fly through it. Or like everyone gets a blown up animal like crocodiles and unicorns and shit, and you jump out and ride them down. Like you can.
This sounds like something I want to do. I want to ride a unicorn down.
Oh yeah,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, you can fill a tennis ball with like 30 grams of lead, and then play catch with it. While you're skydiving.
That sounds dope as shit, dude.
Man, that sounds fun.
If you have a checkbook that's got a decent balance, you could rent a C-130, get in a car and push it out the back of it and skydive with it on the.
That'd be so cool. I like the idea of playing baseball like in the sky though, with that tennis ball thing. I think that'd be cool as shit.
Well, and skydivers so you got all walks of life when with skydivers. You got lawyers, you got they call them DZ bums, which is just skydivers. That's all they do is pack and jump and stuff. To like cops, firefighters, immigration, law enforcement officers, military people. We got patent clerks, we got business owners, construction dudes. I'm trying to think engineers, like just it's a
bank robbers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. DB Cooper. Yep. He's one of them.
The basket weavers.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of these people you would never be friends with, or you would never even meet in the wild, but somehow like everyone just has a great time and gets along. So just the dynamic of all of it is super fun, and they're so creative. Like there's one guy that jumped out pretending like he was a zombie, and then they had a gun. Or like one guy jumped out with a toilet paper roll and flew on his back and was flinging toilet paper at everyone. Everyone's like, "What?" Like it is literally. There's not very many rules saying what you can't do, or what you can't jump with. Right? There's requirements like as students and stuff. But once you become
you shouldn't do this.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot of rules. Other than like common sense stuff like the drinking, don't be drinking or do drugs and skydives, things like that. But there's a lot of recommendations out there, which we actually learned one of them doing demo jumping. So Sean's mom retired from the police department. So we're like, hey, we got a big thin blue line flag. I can't remember how big it is, maybe 250 square feet. It's pretty big. And then we had another big flag. We had another guy's retired first sergeant jump the American flag. Sean jumped the thin blue line flag. And then me and the other guy, we jumped smoke. We had a big, huge cornfield to land in right in the town of Elkhorn where they had this new precinct. She was retiring out of there. And the winds were above 15 miles an hour on the ground. And that's the recommended cutoff, right? And we're like, oh, we jump at the drop zone. Let's go jump there, you know? So we go take off to do this demo, and like the plane's going like bouncing and shit, and it's barely moving. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, all right, what altitude was that at? All right, so, you know, be ready for some turbulence coming in around 800 feet, right? Didn't think anything above it, but I was kind of thinking on the way there, I was like, wow, it's taking a while to get there, right? Because airspeed and ground speed are two different things, you know, in an airplane. So our ground speed was really slow. And I should have clicked on like, oh man, maybe the wind's really high. You know, I should have clicked that bulb on, and the winds were over 15, which is a recommended limit. And we go over, and the ground guy is like, hey, winds are 4 to 9. That's what we thought, he said, 4 to 9. We're like, oh, cool. Open the door, and we jump out. As soon as we jump out, I'm like, something is not right here. Like, we're all getting pushed real hard. No, the winds were 49 miles an hour, like gusting like frequently to 49 miles an hour. So the guy from American
significant difference from 4 to 9 to 49.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the same thing, man, really.
Yeah. Which, you know, in the world of things, you know, it's like history repeats itself, that saying, you know. That's why, like in the military, if something's not right, as like a Pathfinder, if I'm on the ground, you don't bring the bird in on jump run, because the jump master's going to be like, yep, this looks right. Yeah, they're going to start jumping out, right? So we shouldn't even came in for a jump run. But the guy on the ground, you know, steered us in. And Sean landed in the alternate drop zone. He landed actually next to the Mark, which is like a outdoor volleyball and bowling alley type thing. The guy jumping the American flag landed in the police precinct's parking lot. And then
that's a good place to land, though.
Yeah, me and Greg, he's a firefighter. We actually landed in the drop zone, but I was like on my risers and I was doing turns to try to keep going forward to be able to land correctly. But I pretty much I was in full brakes, and I pretty much just floated straight down like this.
Like a lead balloon.
Yeah, but I was like, dang, good thing we brought that extra insurance. So, like, a lot of those recommendations now, those are kind of like our Bible things, you know.
Right.
You know, this is my 3rd year being a professional demo jumper, so that's a whole nother rating. You have to declare 10 jumps and land. When I did it, it was a circle. You had to land in it. Now it's a 20 by 40 meters or 20 by 40 feet square. You have to come in and land on it 10 times in a row. Or not 10 times in a row, 10 declared jumps. So you could do one jump every so often. But if you miss one, you have to start over. Like when I started, my 4th jump, I was way off. So I had to restart. And my 2nd time going for it, I was on jump number 9. They're like, oh, you didn't make it. I'm like, get the tape measure. Like, I'm in it. And I made it by like 2 inches. Otherwise, we would have to restart over again. So that's a whole nother rating as well, too. So I'm hoping he's talking about doing it at Harland next year, which is big, wide open spaces, too, as well. We're hoping every hero stock to have it somewhere, you know, that we can jump into, because it's definitely
amazing.
Our favorite. Yeah. We might, awesome. Depending on where it is, we don't like to shoot our, you know, good thing I'm drinking, because Sean's going to be like, oh, man, what did you tell
son
them?
of a bitch.
Yeah. You know, we did the tandem demo essentially into bottles and barrels. We're going to do one for the Corporal Dagan Page, one of 13 Marines lost in the golf tournament in the afternoon jump. We're going to tandem some PJ Hope, which is another awesome nonprofit I did not know existed until this. They take veterans golfing. They teach them to golf over like 8 months or something, then hold a huge golf tournament.
No,
awesome.
He was a Marine Corps veteran. He was involved with PJ Hope, and he was a former skydiver. So we tandem him into a country club in Lincoln. And so we're hoping that
in touch with this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. PJ Hope, look it up. It's actually really awesome. Yeah. Which they were like, why aren't you guys doing this? I'm like, I didn't even know you guys existed until we're doing this.
I didn't know they existed. Yeah. That sounds cool as shit.
Yeah. Well, PJ Hope. Yeah. They basically, a golf pro works with a veteran. I think it's over 8 months or 8 weeks or something like that. Basically teaches them how to golf. Wow. And then they do a golf tournament with them. And it's all over the place. It's not just Nebraska. They got 10 chapters all over the place, and they're tied in with the PGA.
Wow.
And so, like you said earlier, it's all these little things that we didn't know that were
right.
in the community.
Learning,
yeah, and that's where we're working with a guy that does videos. The Corporal Digging page video, he did that. If you guys look up the
Ace will go in the plane and she's ready to be thrown out.
I got to reach out to her too. She's tagged us in some things.
Yeah, man, she's
on my list.
Dude.
She's amazing.
Yeah, the Bulletproof podcast is on my list to reach out to. As well.
Definitely reach out to Ace.
But yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do things. The CVMAs helped us out, so we had a vet reach out to a veteran. It was actually when I first started this, we're like, let's do gangster shit with my friends. I was like, I fucking know a guy, dude. And he jumps with Round Canopy Parachute Team, and he's an Army veteran himself. And so I was like, he'll freaking skydive, dude. Let's do some gangster shit with him, And so the CVMA actually helped. They gave $600 to go towards his skydiving training. So when they got a big, huge state meeting, they do all the stuff. I should know more about it because I'm an actual member. But we're trying to work with organizations like them, like Hero Stock, and we're trying to figure out a way to, like, when there's an event, we can offer like a day of just tandems for that group to kind of highlight things. It's just the tandem skydiving is a little expensive. It's $250, and the price is probably going to go up. Just aviation in general, I know inflation's attacking everything, but aviation is expensive anyway. So anytime you touch an airplane, people are like, people are like, oh, is that a lot of money? I was like, shit, no, dude. That's the airplane, this, that, the rig maintenance. If you were to go buy a tandem rig right now, that's $18,000, right?
Gosh,
and
damn,
you can jump that thing like for 10, 20 years, whatever, if you take care of it. But there's maintenance, like relines, $500, a new AEDs that's turn in for service, $250. So every year there's just, they generally say it's about $30 to $35 a jump you want to set aside, ish nowadays for just gear stuff. And then a Cessna 182, which is a smaller one we use. A lot of larger drop zones use huge turbine aircraft. We used to be able to buy a 182 for $40,000. I just saw one for sale that's a skydiving one. They want $130,000 for it, So just the price of the skydiving adventure is expensive. And there's a point when we were getting frustrated with it, between aircraft issues or part of our learning curve with starting a nonprofit for the first year. I was like, screw skydiving, or whatever. But there's no way we could take that out of our adventure stuff because it's just it heals. I mean, literally, someone could kick your dog right in front of you. You could load up on the airplane, and you would all your worries and thoughts about it would just like melt away, So that's something we definitely really want to keep on there. It's just a little expensive, but we're trying to figure out how to tie more of that in with a lot of these other organizations with their events, as well. So the flags are great. We got sparklers coming.
Damn.
So Sean got his pyrotechnics license. So we could literally, we don't know what we're doing yet as far as the firework aspect.
Boy.
We could go build a big firework this big and shoot it off. We only need 12 days notice.
Dude, hey, got to be at that next hero stock with all this extra, dude. Like,
make it big, dude. Like,
we got you on video now, you know what I mean? So
we just
Sean.
Yeah.
You hearing all this, Sean, bro? Like,
I think I was supposed to send them the link. I'm not sure if they're watching. They did text me. I'm gonna check it, but so I'm not. I think they're watching. But yeah, we got sparklers. We're trying to work out a few other things. The flocking with the flags would be super amazing. We're working on. I'm gonna kick off a fundraiser here to try to raise $5,000 to build a custom Bravo Zulu canopy. It's hard to really tell sponsors and stuff like, oh yeah, man, you can put your logo on this canopy. But it's hard to show an example of it because no one in this area does any of that, But we're going to build a Bravo Zulu one. Jesse with Wheels for Warriors commented about it, and it's free advertising. So we do other demo jumps all over the place. There's a World War II Airborne Memorial in Omaha. our club jumps into that. So all these canopies will just jump into that. So it's like, and everyone with a cell phone takes pictures of skydivers, right? So like the average, and you buy a canopy, it's good for 1,000, 2,000 jumps, you know? So it's about
Yeah,
five.
we have to buy you every day's a Saturday big old
Yeah,
flag, bro.
I'll have to get one. You know, and we're gonna work on jumpsuits so we can put patches and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
dude,
if you guys had a patch, you know, and you're gonna be at an event, you know,
That's
we'll
awesome.
build Velcro stuff on.
Hell yeah.
Which even starting that, you know, you wouldn't believe how much people like, you know, swag type stuff. Like,
No kidding, right?
we did stickers, patches, koozies. I got these little Army Man bottle opener things. Like a lot of it's, you know, that was a large part of our personal money that we were using to start this, you know, and we're like, shit, like we spent like $800 just in swag.
We're merching it up, huh?
Yeah. But like people love that
yeah,
stuff.
no, they really do.
And if that's going to bring someone by to share a story, you know, it's worth every penny.
Now, you know, the only thing is the hard part is trying not to give everything away for free, you know, because you tend to want to be like, oh, here, you know, and my wife's like, I thought we were going to sell. I was like,
yeah,
well, there's a couple people, you know.
Yeah, we
said
we
a couple.
We did these jerseys. These jerseys are real popular.
Those are awesome. Yeah.
Hopefully Dylan's watching. So like, the guy that made these, you know, the mock-up, it showed this Bravo Zulu like this little, right? And Dylan's like, no, make it bigger. I'm like, hey, ask him what the size of it is, because 11 by 14 is, you know, nipple to nipple, right? And he's like, no, I just told him make it bigger. I'm like, it probably was 11 by 14, and then it turned out, you know, armpit.
You know,
hey, good go, man. Good go,
though, bro. It's perfect though.
Yeah. Which I actually should have even I didn't tell this part. So we were drinking while we were coming up with the name of this group, you know, and I had, when we originally were going to start this pre-pandemic, I had a bunch of names, but it's like it's so hard to be creative in a world that everyone's doing something, right? You know, like Phoenix everything, or patriotic this, you know, and all this, or warrior this, or rising, you know, all this other stuff. And I was trying to get away from that, you know, and we're sitting there drinking Boulevard, or Blue Moon, and eating Little Caesars pizza. And Sean is the Marine Corps guy. These are naval signaling flags, Bravo and Zulu. It means well done or job well done. So that was kind of our tie-in. And I was kind of at the point where we're like, you don't like any of my ideas, let's go for it. But it's got a really cool meaning to it.
No, for reals, yeah, man.
That's cool shit.
It came together awesome.
Yeah, and it does catch
damn drinking. I tell you what.
Yeah, fucking. I don't even know if I believe. I didn't believe this shit. Like he's like, we were drinking. I was like, nah, I don't believe that. Not for a second. Yeah. Not these guys.
We actually, when we were pretty stressed out with the whole thing and trying to figure stuff out, we actually said, hey, let's have a meeting. No drinking allowed. So we actually had to have a meeting where there's, because we were like, what are we doing this? Well, he said that, you know, because like I said, I get easily excitable. So I shoot my mouth off a lot. And like the Tane and the owner of the liquor store, it was actually a drawing for a beer fest, you know, because there are no donations. So we're trying to get as many people to come in. So all the donations to that came to us. So we're enticing people. Like, you can also sign, every entry fee goes towards a drawing for a tandem skydive. We ended up, can't remember how much we raised. It was over $1,000 though. But some people came in, didn't even drink beer. They just bought a ticket to enter in the raffle, you know? And it was great to share a story. But Dylan's in. That's Dylan.
What's up, brother?
That's Dylan. He's jumping the Gold Star flag there. I believe that was at the Corporal Digging page 1. We jumped out. There's quite a bit of photographers there. And
that's awesome.
But yeah, so but I think that's kind of the key to our success a little bit is, you know, we're all friends too, which is a dynamic. Like Sean's very particular about everything. Like when we were designing,
how'd you guys actually meet before all this? I mean,
so Sean was a club member at Lincoln Sport Parachute Club, which is the oldest continuous running drop zone in the world, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. It was started by a guy that was a SAW guy in Vietnam, Oh, it was Hunter Hogan Foundation golf course jump. That's the one we did right before Hero Stock jump.
Okay, yeah.
And so this guy was a SOG guy in Vietnam. He won the Medal of Honor. He was one of the founding members. These guys, one of the guys, Merrill, he retired and lives in Costa Rica now, which sounds so awesome. Retire and just live in Costa Rica and be in paradise all the time. But I found his original chute. It was manufactured in 1954. You know, like these guys were jumping modified T10s back in the day. So much history. Totally lost my train of thought, but yeah. Oh, how we met. So Sean had actually stopped jumping when I joined the club in 2014. I was doing government contracts, so I transitioned to a parachute rig with the military, kind of voluntold. When I got home, before I left for deployment, I went through sniper school, not like the full-blown one, because we, instead of the bushcraft, we did urban ops, basically. This was 2004, so it's very early on in the war, so they weren't really sure what to do, you know, with the sniping stuff out there at that time. And so I was doing government, or I tried to switch from the just regular Cav Scout to the LURS, and they wouldn't let me in because they didn't know me, you know, like the whole, I wouldn't say good old boy system, but like, we're going to protect our unit and only allow like the fucking best people in it, you
know them,
Right.
Yeah, which they all became my friends anyways. So I didn't, and you know, they just told me I couldn't go there, you know, and I found out later that they're like, oh, they just didn't let you in. I'm like, what? They just can't do that. Well, evidently they can. So I ended up becoming a parachute rigger because that was the only spot left, because my paragraph and line number actually went away, and became a parachute rigger. My two best buddies, Jeremy Burrell and Justin Sainer, we were all Cav Scouts together. We started this rigger unit together, which if you take Cav Scouts that used to lean against trees and fucking eat nothing but MREs, you know, and all this other stuff, you know, and put them in a, I don't know what the correct term is, you know, the Pogue unit is what we call it, you know, whatever the correct term is for that. Dude, our first 2-week annual training, we had satellite TV, we had PlayStations, we had a freaking boat to go boating and beer and grills and all this shit. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, this guy walked in, he's like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, dude, we don't even have to sleep outside. What? Like, this is awesome. You know? And we kind of took that unit and ran with it. And it was, in hindsight, it was really cool because I finally got airborne school, got to go to air assault school, Pathfinder school, joint later dropped inspector school. We got to work with 10th group, 3rd group, 97 Silver, like all these great organizations, water jumps, all this cool stuff. But when I got done from that, I started doing government contracts because, like, you know, everyone tries to get rid of the airborne community every once in a while, but they don't realize how important it is. You know, like when I was even at Fort Lee, Virginia, which is like the home of the quartermaster companies, which parachute riggers are, a bunch of brand new lieutenants were even like, oh yeah, we should get them, and this is so stupid, you know. And I was like, hey guys, I was like, I want to tell you something. I was like, picture Nebraska is in the middle of the state, and they're the bad guys, right? And all the other states, you know, Iowa, South Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado, you know, are not friends to United States Army, right? But you got to get into Nebraska. But these other states won't let you fly over there. They'll shoot you down. They don't want anything to do with it. How do you go in there and attack or take out bad guys in Nebraska? And they're like, I don't know. Well, you send a bunch of Rangers into an airfield. They take that shit over. Parachute riggers are starting to drop equipment. We can drop 42,000 pounds with a GPS guided parachute within 100 feet of where we want it to. We could we literally litter the airfield with stuff. You take it in, you start flying conventional troops. Now we have the state of Nebraska, right? And they're like, oh, I didn't think of that. I'm like, that's why you're here to learn, right? You know, but I started to do government contracts, making a lot of money. One of the things was, this is a long story. I just realized it's taking forever, but they're like, hey, you have all the military certifications. You need to get all the civilian ones. So I started skydiving for that specific reason, because I wanted to make good money being a contractor. Joined the Lincoln Sport Parachute Club. Sean wasn't there jumping, but then he had come back. So that's how I met Sean. That was a long story just to tell you how I met a guy. And then we held our own little Elite Fest competition, which is actually that poster right there. So every year the Army puts on a round jumping archery competition. It's called Elite Fest. So we had the Cornhusker State Games, which is like Paralympics. So we added that to the Paralympic state games. Essentially, we do skydiving as well. And Dylan, as a parachuter, came and helped pack and jumped, and that's how I met. And then Dylan's like, "I'm gonna start skydiving." I'm like, "Yeah, you should." And so we all met through skydiving, essentially.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then one other thing too, Dylan reminded me, we have a cornhole tournament coming up too. We got one nice thing that I value is, so like Sean is kind of like the by the book, he reads stuff, like even when we started our website, he was like, I want it to look like this. I'm like, dude, I don't know how to do that. Like, he's very particular, does everything's dress in his world. And I'm like, I know a guy person, and because I've worked in the space and I know a lot of people. And then Dylan was going to be like our little, we planned Dylan as like kind of the workhorse dude, didn't work out like that whatsoever, but that was our original plan. But one of the things Dylan's got coming up is a cornhole tournament, and it's got some awesome prizes. It's got Warfighter tobacco cigars. I don't know if he can chime in. Shields, indoor golf stuff, gift cards, Omaha Steaks. We got signed bottle of Horse Soldier bourbon going to it. Which
Awesome.
Have you guys ever heard of this stuff before?
I've heard of it, yeah, but I haven't had the pleasure.
Yeah, so that's the podcast I'm doing on Tuesday next week. Is we're going over Horse Soldier bourbon. So these guys were America's first response. The movie 12 Strong.
Yeah.
Based off these guys. This statue here is actually at Ground Zero too.
Yeah, I've heard it's not too cheap.
Oh no, but so they're an ultra premium brand, right? Which, there's all these veteran whiskeys out there, lead slingers.
Right.
I haven't had the pleasure of trying lead slingers yet, but these guys are Green Berets, and they're super awesome, cool dudes. I've hung out with them multiple times. I was just hanging out with the commander who actually started his career in the Nebraska National Guard in the LURS unit I was just talking about before he was commander of OD 18595, which was based off. Oh yeah, there's a cornhole tournament. If you guys are in Nebraska, we're gonna throw one hell of a party. Plus, it's at a brewery, so we're definitely gonna have a good time regardless. And we got a lot of drawings, so even if you're not big into cornhole, definitely want to come out to that. But
yeah, you guys should add my page every day's a Saturday.
Yeah,
on, Facebook and post that stuff too, so that all you guys' events and
yeah,
stuff you
definitely.
do, I'm sure there's a lot of Nebraskans probably in my page just because
just from hero stock thing.
Yeah.
Which and that's something we're need to get over, being bashful and being on the internet and tagging stuff and
take reels, doing reels for yourselves. Dude, you guys got some good content.
The content's there, man.
Yeah, with all the flags and stuff. Absolutely, bro.
We got. I think I got close to a terabyte of stuff. You guys
got TikTok and all that stuff, dude. Like,
we do. We're mostly Facebook and Instagram, but we're working on that. And yeah, Dylan Smart, November 18th at Nebraska Brewing Company, 1 to 6 p.m. So we'll be there. I'm sure he's gonna. I think he texted me to probably tell all the particulars. I am a scatterbrain, which is not helpful sometimes.
That's why you have a team, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I was emailing everybody. And I seriously write like a fifth grader, dude. I cannot write. When I did my reading comprehension test, I comprehended at like an 8th grade level, which is why I think I was so successful passing military schools all the time. Because I'm like,
don't worry, bro. I'll shoot a text, man. And
you're right there. I'm right there with you, man.
Badass text. And I'll go back and read it and be like, holy shit.
Yeah. Which is that added to our stress because they're like, dude, you need to proofread your emails. I'm like, I thought we talked about I'm not going to be the email dude, but when I was talking about Round Canoe Parachute Team USA, we do 2 big events. So next March we have 2 World War II C-47s coming in. So I'm going to be super stressed. But even this last time, Sean helped me load my trailer full of parachutes to take down to Florida. And he's like, let's go for a drink, which I left a day late because a drink turned into 7 high-proof bourbon drinks. And I was too hungover to drive the next day. But he's like, he just came out. I was like, dude, you turn into a real asshole when it comes close to these events. I'm like, dude, I am not a talk on the phone person. My phone rings off the hook. People need help. People have questions. And I'm super nice and but as soon as my phone rings, I'm just like, I just don't want to answer it.
You're bothered by it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, bitch.
Like I have a cell phone.
Why is
for
this
my
thing ringing?
Yeah, this is for my entertainment.
Yeah, like I
Not some
swipe
people
while I'm
don't.
taking a shit. You know, this
Yeah.
thing's completely for taking a
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm a huge dork, and I went to work at McDonald's last winter for a couple of different reasons. I couldn't change my degree plan, and I wanted to take like a digital marketing class to kind of better understand, how marketing works with Facebook and all this other stuff. And I got my degrees in studying safety. So the Army's like, we're not going to be like, you have 100 some odd credits. We're not going to let you switch. So I went to work at McDonald's mostly for some free college, but also to be the insight of like how one of the most major corporation runs too, because I'm interested in, I've been in the food industry for a long time. I worked in food trucks and all this other stuff, and they're all successful, but like, I'm such a nice person, like even when I started my parachute rigging company, I was just doing stuff for free. You're like, oh man, you only got $50, and it might be 25 per jump. So I was like, I'll just do all this stuff for you for free, which when it came tax time, I was like, oh shit, I got to pay in $7,000, so like I learned my lesson,
Right. Yeah. Generosity sometimes can kick you right in the ass, dude.
It's such an insight to see how some of those things runs, like at McDonald's, they consider it theft to take a fry and eat it. And I was like, it's just one fucking French fry. But they employ 2 million people. If 2 million people ate one French fry, that's, I don't know how money that is, but it's got to be a considerable amount of money, And
and that would be hard not to eat one French fry, dude. Like,
oh yeah, like
especially those French fries.
Dude, that's what on my Facebook, I posted that I was working at McDonald's on Facebook, which actually took me a little bit to get a job. I wonder if they thought I was joking or something, my resume with all this stuff on it. When I showed up, she's like, what do you want to do here? And I was like, I just want to fry fries. I was like, I've been telling everyone I'm going to become the best fry engineer McDonald's ever had. Like, that's my goal. Like, if you need me somewhere else, that's cool. But like, I really just want to
make you the best golden fries.
Dude, I tell you what,
damn fries on the face of frickin' earth. Yeah,
I worked 5 hours 3 times a week, which is the minimum to get the free school. So 15 hours a week, and they pay for your school, right? Send your laptop, everything, zero cost to you. And they use Colorado Technical Institute, which a lot of people give me shit because I'm like, well, how much you making? You're making $15 an hour. It's like McDonald's pays $2 an hour, full benefits, free school. Like, why are you working here? Like, it blew my mind. But I had zero complaints about my fries. There's 3 things every 30 seconds. I had fresh fries coming up. I'd always look at the screen to see what the orders were coming up. Like, they would try to switch me out. Like, if jobs are like, oh, this guy sucks at building cheeseburgers. Hey, you go build cheeseburgers, And I'm like, okay. I'd be back right on the fries in like 5 or 10 minutes because they couldn't keep up. It's like
oh shit, the fry guy's about to clock in. Move on over.
Yeah, I like the idea of David just fighting the guy over like who gets to make French fries. He's just like, get the fuck out of my spot, bro.
Like, hey, what are you doing over here, bro? I got this by the basket and shit. Like, nah, this is mine.
I mean, I set my station up for battle, like, because you go through 10 cases of fries a night, which is insane. They're probably 50-pound cases,
Yeah.
And the freezer, if you just put the cases in there like sloppy, it only hold 8. Well, if you do the Dave method, you can fit 11 cases of fries in that damn freezer and not have to waste your time because you have to find a damn manager.
Bro, you probably like fucking piss some of these guys off when you came in there like, oh, overachieving ass Dave over here, bro. Like,
well, no one's
got to make the best fries.
Dave fuck comes in throwing knife hands and shit. Yeah. You looking to become a potato because I'm about to make some French fries, bro.
11?
Yeah. Well, no one really wanted to do fries, which I thought was weird, but
because of the grease and shit.
I mean, like,
you don't want to smell like grease.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I smell like grease. It was all over me, and then, but like people are, the cheeseburgers, they're just slinging those out like this, you got to wait 3 minutes for fries to come up if you have 0 fries left, so like managers and stuff are just like 2 larges, so like I don't think people liked it because people are waiting. I'll be like 22 seconds, you gotta wait.
Relax, we want perfection here.
Which, and this is a PSA for everyone, if you want fresh fries, don't say no salt. That shit sucks because you got to put it in the thing and it burns the shit out of your hand. Just say cooked to order. I want my French fries cooked to order. If you ever had McNuggets cooked to order with French fries cooked to order, dude, it'll change your life. Like come out piping hot, just right out of the fryer. I don't know what magical goodness that does, but yeah, don't ask for no salt. That shit sucks. Like we know what you're doing. And I would always, and I'd hear that because they have a little speaker, right? You know, I'd be like, hey, ask them if they just want fresh fries.
Smart ass, you know,
yeah.
No salt.
Yeah, like we know what you're doing.
Motherfucking
To order.
I got you no salt, bro.
You know, and that was like one of the clever things too. And I one of my really good, when I first started skydiving, like I don't wait. I'm not a very patient person. So when I first started skydiving, I just took out a $10,000 personal loan, bought equipment, went to Florida, traveled, did all this shit. And when I came back, I waited tables at Granite City in Omaha. And then that kitchen manager became a managing partner of Texas Roadhouse. And one time he's like, hey man, you still serving? And I was like, no, not really. He's like, want to? So between working at Texas Roadhouse and McDonald's too, like just the flexibility they have to make it easy on workers was something that I took away from that job too. You know, like anything you can do to make your life easier, you know, why aren't you doing it? Like even in people's houses, I'm like, why don't you just change that? You know? And they're like, I never thought about it. I'm like, let's change it. You know what I mean? And so that's like one of the major takeaways that even in life that I put towards this nonprofit is like, why can't you do this? You know? And that's kind of where we're like everyone said, can you do a tandem demo? I'm like, yeah, why can't you? You can't do a tandem demo into like a stadium or something. But a lot of people done some crazier shit. Like Luke Akins, the Red Bull guy, jumped out with no parachute. He did the parachute, or they jumped and try to swap.
Smoke and shit.
Yeah, super cool dude. He's he's on the USPA board, and then he's a friend to Round Country Parachute team as well too. We did an air show together once. Super cool dude. But he tandem. Well, yeah, at least he asked for permission. I don't know if he ended up doing it for a waiver. He tandem Tiesto into the Top Golf in Las Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, there's nowhere that says you can't. If it's just a confined space, you have to get approval from the USPA, right? And because FAA kind of just guides off of that, you know. So I was actually even silly enough to write to USPA, like, I would like to do a tandem demo. It's 500,000 square feet. And they're like, what do you need waived again? And I was like, oh shit, I didn't read something somewhere. And if you go down to chapter 7 in the manual, it says that if it's a level 2, which is what we're jumping into, or bigger, you don't even have to say shit. So I was like, oh, learn something, you know? And so that's kind of the things we want to take away. Like, we wanted to sponsor a whole lot of golf ball tournament. Like, what are we going to do? Just like sit there and drink, you know, like everyone else is drinking, you know, like we want to stand out. And that's where we got that golf ball launcher. And we kind of really didn't ask for permission beforehand. We just said like, hey, we got this.
We're gonna,
They had us on a hole that it wasn't going to work on. And I was like, oh, we got to figure this out. So we looked on the map. It was like, oh, we got to be on hole 1, which the backstop was, you know, a neighborhood or whatever. So I was like, anytime someone would aim it, I'd like, yeah, a little bit more right, please, thanks. You know? Because that first round we shot out of that thing, it cleared the neighborhood, cleared the highway, and went into like a forest way back where I was like, we had to shoot it pretty level. Like the website says 600 yards. I don't know if it really truly does that, but it probably gets dang close to it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, hey man, I do appreciate you coming on, bro, and telling us all about it. Is there any last things that you want to tell us about before we cut out?
Yeah. Pretty much just want to say, you know, like all these great nonprofits are super great. And I know the target audience of a lot of these groups, you know, we are bashful about sometimes asking help. But there's a lot of creative organizations out there you can reach out to, you know, like I pride ours on, you know, an outdoor adventure type thing. You know, we're not going to talk to you about your feelings or anything like that. You know, we just want to take you on an adventure, have beer and drinks available for afterwards and food, and sit and just kind of hear your story and create a community of great people, you know. So we are a nonprofit, but we're not asking for your charity. We just want to do gangster shit with our friends, you know. we just want to honor those that are still serving the community, you know. So definitely reach out to us. Our contact stuff's on our website. We're on Facebook and Instagram, Bravo Zulu Adventure Group. My email's david@bzag.org. So if you guys want to reach out to me, definitely let us know. If you got an adventure or hunting or fishing location or private cabin or something that could be useful to us too, we'd love to partner with people. You know, we aren't really looking for sponsorships. We're looking for partnerships because we don't want to be here for a little while. We want to be here for a long while. So if we can work together with these people, then it's not so much, you know, a take. It's a take and give in partnership with working with those. So that's kind of where we're at. But and if you got a crazy idea, shoot it our way. I'm not bashful about doing it, and Sean and Dylan are really good at doing the research. And if it's too crazy, they'll bring me down a little bit. But we'll definitely give anything a try.
I love that.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we appreciate you coming on. It was awesome getting to see you guys jump out, and appreciate what you guys are doing, man.
Yeah. And if anyone's out there doing an event or organization for your nonprofit or event or something, reach out to us. You know, we're not the only ones that do this, obviously. We do travel. We've traveled before to do it for other things. But if you have a decent amount of space where some skydivers can land, whether it's us or I can put you in touch with another drop zone. I mean, there's pro jumpers all over the world. There's really great people that do it a lot better than us, like All Veteran Parachute Group. Those guys do some amazing things. Team Fast Tracks, I think they jumped like, I want to say a 40,000 square foot flag or some insane thing. You know, it's freaking huge, you know.
Wow.
So there's a lot of teams out there and organizations to do what we do. So if you have an event and you want some flags being jumped in, you know, definitely reach out to us and we'll get you squared away if we can't help you out.
Yeah. All right, David. Well, thanks again, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
All right, D. Well, that wraps up another great episode, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate having David on, talking all about the Bravo Zulu Adventure Group. If you guys can go check them out, you know what I mean? Their website right here, www.bzag.org/. Go check them out and show them some love. And if you guys can help them out too. You know, there's always ways you can donate and help out. All the people that stopped by, let's go ahead and thank you guys. Dylan, thank you for stopping by. Ace from Bulletproof Podcast, Joe Allen Christie, TJ Durkin, Shannon Book, Jason Steiner. Thank you all for stopping by and communicating with us. And Derek, have a great rest of the week, brother.
Hey, you too, brother. Love you, man.
Love you too, my man. All right, until next time, guys. Wrong one.